So I've moved to what I like to call the electronics area, laughably, of the workshop. Recently I've got into something called Meshtastic. It's a mesh network, mesh communication network. Works on LoRa wireless protocol, a long range, low power wireless. The idea is that you can position these things around and messages can transfer from node to node without any kind of fixed infrastructure. Yeah, there seems to be a growing community of people who are setting these things up. What I've got here is basically a Heltec 3v3 unit, and then a proprietary omnidirectional antenna that I bought on well, I can't remember, Farnell or something. You can talk to this from your phone using Bluetooth. So if you can supply it with power, it's pretty much a standalone thing. You don't have to have any more connections apart from connecting up the aerial, the antenna, and some power. That's all you really need to get going. So I've been looking around for something to so basically I need to put this in some kind of an enclosure, and I have come up with a vitamin pill bottle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and give it a go at actually fitting this into this in a meaningful sense. So I mean, looking at this, this is going to be mounted quite high up on the outside of the house. So the first thing is, I think, looking at the way the lid fits, I'm thinking maybe mounting it this way up would stop the rain migrating back up into the bottle. And I'm thinking that what I'll do is I will mount the aerial to this. The aerial can mount to the lid top here. Feed power in through the bottom if I drill a small hole in the bottom. I've actually got some 12 volt, well, it's not 12 volt, I've got some sockets and plugs that I can fit into the bottom there. Let's see if I look at it. Just a bit of free advertising for CPC. Yeah, so here's, sorry, can you see that? Here's a socket I'm going to pop into the bottom. And these are the power plugs that I'm going to fit into that. So that gives me the scope to actually pop the power supply off it, just for maintenance and that kind of thing, which is good. Or actually also to fit the thing up on the mast high up over the house and then plug the power in afterwards, which would also be make it a bit more convenient. So yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can make that work. I think I've got a few of these. The kids, I don't know if the kids are still taking these. My partner started buying them for the kids when they were being a little bit reluctant to eat anything other than I don't know, anything that actually had any kind of goodness in it. I'm not sure if I'm totally into vitamin supplements, to be honest, but it has at least provided me with quite a handy little enclosure that I can maybe fit a Meshtastic node into. So yeah, I mean, I think it's only going to really be about drilling a couple of holes of the right size, popping this in the bottom, and a bit of soldering. You can supply power to these using the USB-C port that you use to flash them up in the first place, but also there is a little power, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little power connector there, and they do supply a power lead you can use. So I'll have to solder the power lead into this, and then but that's pretty much it, actually. There's not a lot more to it than that. So we'll see how I get on, I guess. I'll bring you back in a minute. I've just got essentially 2 holes to drill, and then I'll bring you back in. So I drilled a 6mm hole for that, for the aerial connection. This is going to be on the top, so I guess this is going to get the weather Although I'm probably going to put some tape around it just to try and keep the worst of it out. The 6mm actually worked really well. It was just undersized enough that the little aerial connector kind of cut its own thread through there, and so I think that should be quite a nice seal to try and keep the worst of the water out. So yeah, so I think that was relatively successful. I'll just have to put some retaining nuts and a washer on that, and then we'll take it from there. So washer and nut on. That's looking rather tidy. So I just got to boot up the soldering iron now and get that power connector sorted, and then we'll be able to go in from the bottom and fit the power plug. So there's the hole for the power connector. I started off with a 12mm and it didn't quite fit through, so then I went up to 13mm. It's a bit awkward. I had to put a lot of the drill bit into the bottle because I was drilling in this direction because it was like dimpled at the bottom. I thought it would help the drill to find a centre. So yeah, 13mm in the end, 12 I started with. I was worried it was going to kind of fail in a brittle sense, but it hasn't actually. It's kind of melted a little bit, but it seems okay. So then I'll get this get the power connector fitted, and we'll see if we can take it from there. Here's the power connector. You got a red and a black lead, and I've just had a look and checked that you can actually see. Sorry, you can't see like that, but on the unit itself, I shouldn't be dangling it like that, but there is a plus and a minus marked on the where the plug actually goes in and locates, and so yeah, so goes in that way round, or is it? No, it's the other way up. Yeah, so it should go that way round into that socket there. But there's a plus on this side and a minus on that side, so I'm going to send the red lead into the plus connection of the of this jack socket, which will be the centre pin. So I think that's generally I mean, it's up to me really. I can make it whichever way I like, but I think centre's usually positive. So I'll get that in there, and then I'll connect up one of these other tags to minus, and then that can all, when it's done, that can be popped into the bottom of there with difficulty, I expect, but I'll get there in the end, and then we should have a power connection I can pop onto the board. So I got my power connection fitted. Had to use long nose pliers down the inside, and then I got my conventional pliers on the outside, and it just about reached so that I could get that tightened up. Yeah, that's relatively successful. And then I've got a jack plug that can go in the bottom. I got the long type. I shouldn't have done. I should have got the 9mm. I've got the 14, but still, it'll work to start with at least. So now I've just got to solder this onto a long power lead that I can send out of my window and up to the device, and connect this up to the board and put the lid on. So I guess I could probably do that now. So we've got the little power lead pops into that socket there. This is going to be awkward to do on camera. I think it goes in this way round. Positive, negative. Oh no, yeah. It's just going to be really fiddly. I might have to give up and do it off. There, done. Don't know if you can see that. Just popped it in, just slid it in. It's difficult. There's a little bit of a lag on the camera on this phone, and so I'm trying to do stuff, and things aren't happening at the same rate as my brain thinks they are. So I guess if I pop this down inside here, like so, and then I think there's enough length in that aerial connection to just put a turn on that. It's not putting anything under any strain. I think that's it. You can't really see it. It's pretty crap TV, but yeah, we've got a device sitting in there. With a power connection and an aerial connection, all nice and I reckon nice and watertight. So as I say, it will stand up this way so that the power plug will be essentially sheltered by the base of this. I might even put a bit of a shroud on it to keep the weather out. But yeah, I'm quite liking that. I think that was relatively successful. Yeah, I guess I just have to get some power to it and see if I can get it working.